Hello everyone, I am going to tell you how to use this template for the focus group. So first of all, here are these way of like dividing paragraphs and noting the spaces. So this is right now activated. You can change that later, but right now it's like that, so you can see again the spacing in between everything. The main font we use here is the Helvetica, and so these are the styles in Word. There's only these few styles. You can always add more, but we have here first paragraph, the footer biography, normal text, heading 1, 2, 3, 4, how to use like the block quotes, and also the table of contents. So this like first picture you can change for something more appropriate to your focus group or any other picture that you might like. So this obviously you will change to your theme, and all this will stay basically the same. Here you will actually find the authors and like take out all the other ones that are not in your group, and the rest you can leave just in black. The reason that we use this that I don't know what it's called, but it shows you the spacing. It also shows you the page breaks, and you see that there's a lot of page breaks here to make again the text not flow to the next page. So here we have the table of contents, and this you will have to update it. The introduction methodology, all this is like the different headings, right? That you're marking here, heading 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now we don't have any 4s, but you can use it if you need to. So basically, the introduction is the heading 1, methodology is heading 1, participants heading 1, and this will be heading 2. Obviously, this will be heading 3, and so on. And at the end, you have the different appendix. You will have to update this. When you do, you just have to go here to the top, and then it says update table, and then update the entire table, and it will not only change the numbers, but it will change all the different headings that you will be making. Right now, I didn't change anything, so it didn't change anything at all. Then here we have just like the heading 1, as you can see. And here's just like example that comes from the guidelines or introductions for the focus group on what to add, but not everything that you need to add is here. So I just added some text, so just make sure that you actually go back to the guidelines and answer the questions that are there. These are more like of the example text that I had, which basically you can use something that is like very similar and just kind of like paraphrase, and obviously answer the questions that are in the instructions of how to do it. Here I want you to notice that there's a first paragraph, and this is like you'll see in many books, actually most books, that the first paragraph always starts with an indentation, and then the other paragraphs have some indentation. So this is the normal paragraph, and this is the first paragraph, and you can see here. And this obviously is like change. You don't have to change these, but you can change the tabs and all that by clicking here. So for example, if I wanted to make this huge like that, which looks terrible, I would just go here and say update normal to match selection, and then everything will change to be that. But I really don't want that, so I'm just gonna make sure that this matches to what it was before. But basically you can change the spacing there too. For example, if you have like the first paragraph, you just go to modify, and you can change any this like the words, the spacing. Let's say that you now want this to have double space. So you can click that and now it will be double space. When you click here, and if you wanted this to be first paragraph, now it is first paragraph. But I don't want that, so I just go back to how it was and just make sure that it resembles what it was. You can play around that for your own purposes if you don't know how to or never have used the style pane. So for here, to go back to the idea of like the books. So I found here like a random book, and I said, well, I'm gonna find like the most read book in planning, which is like from Jane Jacobs, The Death and Life of Great American Cities. If you haven't, please read this book. And it actually talks a lot about parks, in particular saying that not all parks are good, because there might be like some that don't have eyes in the streets and might be hotspots for crime. Just very interesting book again. But as you can see here, there's the first paragraph, and then there's the other paragraph, second paragraphs. And here's the way that like quotes are done. And as you can see, after a main quote or break, you always go back to first paragraph again. So we will do the same thing. Next time that you see books, just try to see like how they do the spacing. Here, as you can see, there's like big spaces. There's also big spaces here. We didn't do that, but just like take a look at books and how they're done in terms of the formatting. So let's go back here. So we will have these different appendices at the end, and I didn't necessarily put them in order, so you will have to again cite in the text the different appendices by saying appendix A or B whenever you're calling each one of them. And as you call them, the first one it should be A in the text, right? And B, you cannot jump and say all of a sudden H and just cite, the one that I have here in H. You will need to actually put it in order, so you might arrange these or try to cite it in the text as it is right now. So let's go back there to the beginning, and as you can see, these ones have breaks. So it has a page break after the introduction. This is like, so every time that that's what I was trying to do, the first the heading 1, this is heading 1, it will be like after the in a new page basically. So something to show you here is that there's a citation here. So I want you to do it. I think that the manual style said to do it in endnotes, but here we're just going to do footnotes instead, because it's like easier for reports to be able to look immediately at what you're referring to, as opposed to having to go all the way to the end. And in a report, we will not have like tons of references. But also make sure that you do these references in Chicago style 17, which is the last style. And if you, in this case, it's citing pages 3 to 21. But really, if this was a citation, you will put the specific quote, this is a fake quote, so I don't have the specific page. But if it was a citation, then here you will just put, 2 dots and then the specific citation. So here you just have like the tables that you already have in the instructions. Then just have heading 1 and heading 2, and then as I was telling you, first paragraph. This is a block quote, so anytime that you have more than 50 words, which is like, a lot less than what is here, you can count the words Actually, it should tell you just right here in workout. So this is 51 words. So this will be in block quotes just like that by itself because it's more than 50. And that's what our manual style says. And as you can see, there's like a bigger space here, just like in Jane Jacobs' book. And then it goes back to first paragraph after a break. So this will happen after any break, like a table, figures, any kinds of breaks, you go back to first paragraph, which is right here. So again, instead of using the normal, which is this, you will use this, the first paragraph. And then these are just like the following topics that you will explain. So here we have to add the first paragraph, second paragraph, quotes, if there are more than 50 and so on. And then you have the next session, recommendations, the discussion, the conclusion, and then the appendices, as I said, which you can reorganize. Something I wanted to show you is that when you go to the to Canvas and then you go to your homework, which is like when you go to assignments, right? And then that takes you to the focus group. So if I click here, you will go to the focus group, and then that takes you to all the documents that are related to our focus group. So here you have like the English flyer. That one is actually for the WLI, because this one is like for Glendale, so there's different ones here. This one is like for the Westside Community Councils, and then the Road Home, which is the Palmer Courts, with the formerly homeless individuals and families. So I wanted to again show you where to get that. Just put like whatever the flyer is for your focus group, and then these are the invitations that we sent, and just make sure that you change these things if needed. I basically just change the date, and for some of these there's no email invitation like in the road home ones, and that was the demographic survey. The email follow-up, you will insert some photographs or a photograph. Then was like the focus group guide, which I have to fix the text a bit, like right here. But I think that's the last thing. No, there's a thank you email, and then the final presentation flyer. So you will have to name this in order.